Good evening. This is Neil Powell back with another Bible study. And today I want to look at the Matthew 7:1. How many times have you heard people saying, "Thou shalt not judge," or "You're not supposed to judge"? They claim that, the Bible teaches that we're not to judge as Christians. And so I want to address that. Matthew 7:1 says this, "Do not judge so that you will not be judged." And most people will stop there. Usually what people say is, "Thou shalt not judge." And the Bible never says that, but it says in 7:1, "Do not judge so that you will not be judged." But then let's read the rest of the verse. Let's take it in context. "For in the way you judge, you will be judged, and by your standard of measure, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye?" He's talking about hypocritical judgment here, Jesus is. He said, if you got a log in your own eye, take that out before you can judge your brother that has a speck in his eye. That's what he's saying. In verse 5, it says this, "You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye." So, according to this text here, should we ever judge? As I said, this is talking about hypocritical judgment. Let's look at John 7:24. It says, "Do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment." Jesus is telling us here to judge with righteous judgment. Look, if you're a liar, don't judge your brother for lying. If you're a thief, don't judge your brother for being a thief. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 2:15. It says this, "For who has known the mind of the Lord that he will instruct him? But we have," that's 16. Let's look at verse 15. "But he who is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judged by nobody." 1 Corinthians 2:15 says, "He who is spiritual judges all things." John 7:24 says, "Judge with righteous judgment." Let's look at Galatians 6:1-2. It says this, "Brethren, even if anyone is caught in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, each one looking to yourself so that you will not be tempted. Bear one another's burdens and fulfill the law of Christ." If anyone is caught in trespasses, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. If one is caught in trespasses, how do you restore one in a spirit of gentleness? Well, you just made a judgment call because you judged that he's in trespasses and that he needs to be restored. That's what you've done. That's judging righteous judgment like John 7:24 says. Let's look at one more verse. Jude 5:19-20. "My brethren, if any among you strays from the truth, and one turns him back, let him know that he who turns the sinner from the error of his way will save his soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins." So what's he teaching here? My brethren, if any among you strays from the truth and one turns him back. How do you turn one back? You make a judgment call. You make a judgment call that he needs to be turned back. When you do this, you need to do it in a spirit of gentleness and compassion. But the whole "do not judge" thing is one of the most misquoted verses in the Bible. A Christian should judge all things. How do you witness to somebody? Well, you made a judgment call that person is lost and they need witnessing to. Okay? You do it in a spirit of gentleness and humility, but if a brother or sister in Christ, another saved person, is in sin, how do you bring them back? Well, you had to make a judgment call that they was in sin, and with gentleness, you approach them and try to have a conversation with them and bring them back into the fold, get them back on the right track. So I hope that helped. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that kind of cleared up that verse for you.